it's all about Liam Gallagher. He's now denying a new Oasis album is in the works. It was just a laugh. Ha ha ha.
Oh,
We talked about this
ha ha.
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, can't remember.
That's the Irish
Dettol.
now I'm trying to do there. Ha ha. It's ha ha.
And we talked about it, John.
Who the hell is that?
This actually ties into what we thought. We were right.
Doesn't sound Irish.
Yeah, we were talking about it, but he took to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, once again, just to say he was dismissing his earlier teases, saying there is no Oasis album in the making, responding to a fan news account that claimed the brothers were working intently on a new album. Liam said, I was fucking joking, remember them? And the reason, because everyone is a little uptight these days. I'm sorry if I've upset anyone, but fuck me, it was a laugh. So I think someone responded saying a reunion is enough, and Liam wrote, exactly, people always want more, let's get in a big stadium and go ape shit and see what happens after that, you with me or what. He also replied to
his English is not the best at times.
Right, that's hard to read.
Liam, a comma exists, mate. Full stops exist. Use them, please.
Well, he doesn't. Instead of full stops, he always says, "You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
He always says that, sweating profusely on a chat show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John,
Because he's always got a fucking parker on. Studio lights exist. Yeah. It's incredibly warm.
Those eyebrows will keep him warm.
Yeah. Feel like a headband.
John McEnroe.
I have to stress, man, I'd never say any of this if Liam was next to me. I love Liam. Liam's my favourite, man.
I love both of them, John.
He's definitely my favourite. I love Noel as well, but Liam's my favourite.
Just he's on another level with humour. But
love
Noel's got a very funny sense of humour as well. He's really, really uptight, but he can be really, really funny and dry at the same time. But
let's just calm the fuck down. There's no Oasis album in the making. I was fucking joking. It's just that let's just calm the fuck down. But it's just epic. I love Liam. Oh,
because you can actually hear his voice.
Let's just calm the fuck down. I can't do a Mank accent. Can't do it.
John, I mean, before we get into obviously these comments, we were talking about this, saying, why don't they just stick to doing these gigs, see how it goes, and then maybe work on something afterwards? Why would you put yourself under so much pressure and get into doing an album? This is what happened the last time. This is one of the reasons that he's blew up the last time, is because you were touring, doing albums, and not getting on very well. Why don't you just take your time, go in and do your gigs, see how he's got on? I know they've been talking, John, for a few months now, maybe even longer than that, maybe about a year or so, that we don't know about. But I'm looking forward to his gigs. I know they've said this is I hope this is another thing he's get wrong and he's lied about, the televised bit. I hope there's going to be video cameras.
Oh God, I know.
There has to be for this.
I think there will be for a documentary, at the very least. I think we'll see behind the scenes stuff and a whole sort of documentary coming out about the reunion, the greater tours, or tour, because there is going to be two tours. There's going to be a British tour and a US tour. We kind of discussed that, or North American tour. And I think you'll maybe explore just the journey and how the relationship's going throughout.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual televising of the gigs, I'm pretty sure they won't. They've charged an arm and a leg to people. Some people have paid fucking crazy amounts of money for £80 tickets or like £400. Lord knows what the VIP packages are. So they'll want that to be sort of exclusive. That's the word. Yes. Exclusivity.
Yeah.
Yes. For those people who are going to the gigs, it's shit for us because we don't get the chance to go. Despite the fact I was fucking on my PC for like 7 hours trying to get tickets.
You did it twice, wasn't it?
Yeah. I tried to. Yeah, they gave me an opportunity. I was given the privilege of being part of the ballot for those who missed out on the Ticketmaster sale.
Dangled that carrot
for the extra Wembley gigs or something, and then just didn't give me the fucking tickets. Cheers for that. No, Liam, pricks. Fucking bastards. Get my hopes up there. I'd have went down to London. 100%.
Someone put on social media, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, the what's about to be announced as the official lineup, which is going to consist of obviously Liam and Noel, but with Game and Bonehead.
Yeah.
They've not announced a drummer. I don't think they're going to get anyone. I think that's just Noel all over. I think that'd just be a session guy. some random that we
Noel
don't even know.
hates
'Cause
drummers.
He doesn't appreciate them.
He
That's the
fucking
thing.
hates drummers, man. Like I says, we spoke about it before. I think it was the second drummer,
Yeah, Alan White.
Alan White,
Yeah,
destroyed him in a live performance
yeah,
because he ended the song abruptly.
that's
I
right.
think
yeah.
he get mixed up, and he was just giving him it.
Yeah, Liam had to calm him down. That's
What a
right.
fucking drummer!
Yeah,
Get a big round of applause for the shit drummer.
yeah.
And Liam's like,
He's-
"You got
he's
calm
went on-
down."
I'm sure he's went on record. I don't know if it was Jonathan Ross or whatever.
Yeah, but drum.
But
machines?
he'd have a drum machine in place.
Yeah,
of
that's
a
bullshit.
Because
No.
he says that drummers are just fucking
High maintenance.
high maintenance and very simple people.
I don't think you'd say that
Yeah.
Dave Grohl
No,
and guys like that.
he doesn't like Dave Grohl though.
Does he not?
No,
No, that's a fucking shame. Dave
which is a
loves
shame
him as
because he loves Oasis. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
well, to be fair, Dave's been a naughty boy recently,
yeah,
so
I'm
I
glad
can.
to see Bonehead in there.
Yeah.
It's funny. I know he was a bass guy for the first few albums, but I don't really remember many bass lines that really stood out on those early Oasis tracks. They
Because it
were
was a
very
wall of noise.
heavily masked, weren't they? And
Yeah.
Noel said that. I think it was a recent. He says he loved, obviously, definitely, maybe, and talking about What's the Story in Morning Glory, he said there was a lot of issues with that in terms of
Yeah.
sound. Yeah, that was the actual.
Because
thing he
Noel's
did.
admitted, he's
Yeah.
listen, I don't buy into this box that he's not a great guitarist. He keeps disparaging his guitar
Yeah.
playing ability. I think he's a brilliant guitarist. But he admitted himself he didn't have a clue. They didn't have the knowledge that they have now in terms of effects and settings on amps. He just 10, 10, 10, 10, mid 10, bass 10, treble 10. Somebody says, you know, you can like dial them back down. He's like, what? No, it's 10. Leave it. Sounds fucking great. Don't touch it. Then he started experimenting and realising. So I think they were just fucking two
That's-
amps
yeah.
chained together,
A bit of an experience there.
dimed out their minds.
And it happens to the best of them. I remember watching a documentary with, it might have been an anthology actually, the Beatles anthology with Paul, George and Ringo at Abbey Road. Paul was talking about when stereo was first introduced, and George recalls at the time, well, why would you want it coming out of two speakers? Why
Yeah.
not just the one?
Yeah.
He obviously didn't understand the sort of potential that had
Yeah.
to come out in stereo. But it's like that, isn't it? You're obviously thinking at that stage, just crank everything up, and we'll just.
To be fair, it did sound
No,
good
it did,
because
yeah,
I watched
yeah.
that.
I think he's highly critical of that album. I don't know why. I think it's a great
No, it
album.
does sound good. That's just a wall of noise though. It is. But I mean, that's fine. It's like your man, like when his name, fucking murderer, psycho. What were the Ramones?
I
and
was
the
about
Beatles
to
and John
say the
Lennon?
name, but I don't want to say that.
He was. He fucking shot. He played Russian roulette with someone and let them blow their brains out. So I mean, it's convicted. But yeah, you know who I'm talking about. That producer, he was renowned for wall of noise,
Wall of Sound. Yeah.
wall of sound. So yeah, I mean, it works. It does work. And it worked for Oasis in those early albums because I love the songs.
It did, yeah.
Could they have been produced better? Probably. But it is what it fucking is. And that was their sound. It was distinctive. People loved it. Rock and roll. You go to an album, gig and you would have had your fucking eardrums blown out, but it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I wish I had the opportunity to go to a gig. I wish I had a time machine. I'd go to the 60s, see the Beatles. Probably not, because there was a lot of screaming girls and I can't be fucking arsed with that. So I'd maybe go to like the Revolution recording. Maybe go to the Rooftop. Try to think of another example. Probably the Dirty Mac stuff with the Rolling Stones.
Circus.
Get
yeah.
that Union Jack shit to fuck though. Never understood that box. Why would Keith Richards and all that be into that crap? An educated man. And probably the 90s. Speaking of Union Jacks, no, we use Union Jack Epiphone. Come on, no.
They went to Loch Lomond in 96, I think it was.
Yeah,
That would have been the opportunity, John, for
that
you.
probably would have.
Yeah.
90 when?
96.
I'd
think
have
it
been
was.
7, Stephen, 6,
Yeah.
7.
Oh, well, you got a time machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, that would have been
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, going
Yeah.
there. Okay, back. Why the fuck did you not go and see them, Stephen? That's well. You weren't really into them, though,
No, it
weren't you?
wasn't, no.
In a big way in the 90s, it was more
No.
R.E.M.
I mean, I had watched the story on CD.
Did David go?
David and Kevin went. That's my uncle and my brother. They went to see Oasis in 2000 and something. It was the sort of final lineup at Murrayfield, but they
Yeah.
didn't really like the venue at all. Thought
Yeah.
it wasn't that great.
Was that 2008? Because it was half empty.
No, I think it was a lot earlier than that.
Was it?
It might have been 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought David would have went. I know he was big into them.
Yeah,
big
he
into them.
introduced us to Oasis. I think it was Supersonic it came out, but it was a few months later, a few weeks later, I can't remember, in '94, where it was a cassette. of Definitely Maybe, and he says he loved it. He just loved it.
Yeah.
I think Liam's about the same age as David as well,
Yeah.
so he could obviously get that sort of age group, got where they're coming from, the housing scheme in Manchester, housing estate, you know, and try to find their way out of that and be successful. Obviously, King Tut's was another link
in Glasgow,
where they were signed up by Alan McGee. So I think that kind of interested David a lot, just that sort of overcoming the odds kind of story.
That's a great story. It's much like the Beatles and those early beat bands that broke through and working class guys making it in America.
Doesn't happen.
But you think the Manchester scene in the 90s, they were kind of reminiscent of those 60s days where they were breaking through from working class roots and inspiring probably the likes of the Smiths and maybe the Stone Roses. They were probably inspiring known guys like him to, this is working class guys like me that are making it. Spiral Carpets. They can make it.
Charlatans.
And obviously, he was a tech with the Spiral Carpets, wasn't he? He was touring with them.
Yeah, I was one of the roadies,
Yeah. So, they've got a really important band, Oasis, man. I mean, you can deride some of the shit that goes on with Liam. I fucking love it. I go back and watch videos all the time.
I take everything he says with a pinch of salt, though, when it comes to social media. I think he loves
I do think they're working on an album.
He loves a wind-up, but I think he's probably been reined in a little bit to say, listen, you shouldn't have said that.
I do think they are working on an album. I think he's double bluffing. I think he's probably been told by Noel enough. Yeah. Because Noel has been in the studio and he was in the studio.
Noel's a bit more disciplined in terms of how to market the product.
You said it, Steve. I mean, it's no way to announce an Oasis album on fucking
See the way
Twitter.
they announced the gigs? Both of their Twitter accounts, their official separate ones, and the Oasis account all tweeted out at the same time. I went, fucking hell.
I didn't see it initially. I see it trending. I'm like, Oasis is trending. Oh, what's this? Just someone talking again. Then I seen Liam first, and then I seen Noah. I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Exact same content.
It was like Office and the American Office. It's happening. The sprinkler stuff. Like the fire alarm. It was like that. Oh, fuck. And then the clamor to try and get tickets. So I don't think they are. I think they probably are working. Very, very early stages. Probably no writing.
Yeah, there was talk about one acoustic album, one stadium album. So I don't know.
Just got to be careful though, because it could be another Verve situation. I wasn't having their reunion album.
Stone Roses as well.
The Stone Roses. Blood have done some albums and just not anywhere near as good. That's the dangers when you start getting into older age. I'm not saying 40s, 50s is old age, you're ancient, but you're older in the mid-20s. You just need to, there has to be done for the right reasons.
But people think of Oasis, they think of that period between 94 and 2000.
Yeah.
They do forget that the later albums weren't as good.
Yeah.
I mean, we did that thing.
The tier list.
The tier list, and I don't think I've heard that whole album.
No.
I just didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, and people do forget that, so you've got to be careful you're not going to repeat that sort of quality of
people
music.
want is, certainly younger generations who have not had the chance to see them, is the greatest hits, going and seeing them live, out their minds and getting to live that. But what they're not going to have is the experience from the 90s where no one had camera phones. They probably took fucking disposable cameras and whatnot. You were in the moment. Yeah, but you're living in the moment.
I mean,
I didn't live in the moment with Oasis, but I distinctly recall living in the moment in various things.
But there must have been songs from Oasis that were probably premiered in certain gigs.
Yeah.
Like the Master Plan. I'm not saying it was, but just as an example, people going there to see Supersonic and Roll With It or whatever, and then he comes out with the Master Plan or whatever. You know, just some song that's very well known now, but at the time, the first hearing of that, they'll never have that again.
No.
You know?
No, you won't, because it was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
They were going through a sort of zeitgeist moment. People were completely tuned in. I mean, look at Nebbuff and stuff like that, and just dropping stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just frenzy. It was like the Beatles again.
I just remember that period, you know, that sort of 5-year period where every time they released a single, it just smashed it. You know,
that's one of my big regrets is I'm too young to really appreciate what was going on at the time. I just remember hearing songs that Don't Look Back in Anger on the radio and liking the song.
Yeah.
That was how deep it went for me. I wasn't really aware enough of music at that age to appreciate what was going on. And it's a shame because you look at it now and it's probably the last
It's the last decade.
it's the last decade of really great music. But Oasis in particular were the last band to really like fucking explode.
Yeah.
Like a Beatles or a Led Zeppelin or something like that out of nowhere, and people are just fucking getting off their minds.
Yeah.
It's not really happened since then. I mean, you had the sort of new punk stuff with Franz Ferdinand. Didn't explode Oasis. And there's nothing now. I mean, maybe Taylor Swift, but it's different music.
Yeah, I mean, there's no long game with a lot of bands.
No.
Snow Patrol in the early 2000s came out with a really good album, 2004 I think it was. Can't remember what it was called. They did about 4 singles off it, which were all very good. The rest of the album was okay, but it's that can't match that success of a debut album. Franz Ferdinand kind of did it with a second album, but it was ever diminishing returns.
But if you remember that first album, every song nearly.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like random ones like This Fire and 40 something, and just little album tracks were fucking
Coldplay
amazing
as well.
Yeah.
With another band, first 2 albums superb, and then after that it was just it just became a stadium band.
Steve, what you said there about a stadium album and an acoustic album, much rather see an acoustic album.
Yeah.
Even though the Foo Fighters have done acoustic live albums and they're great, where you make acoustic versions of hits. But the stadium one worries me because talking about Coldplay, they have just became a stadium fucking act. It's weird. And you can hear in the songs when they're releasing it, overproduced, and you can hear them. That bit's for the crowd to sing along to. You can fucking hear them doing it. The Foo Fighters to an extent have done it.
Sort of props in the crowd, lights.
Yeah.
And stuff like
I mean, it looks impressive, but it's fucking corny.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's what it's became,
corny.
though. It's corporate, isn't it? And they're bringing out Michael J. Fox and they're bringing out Ralph Macchio. I'm like
fucking singing "Fix You" to Michael J. Fox on the stage. Well, you can't fix him. He's got a fucking neurological condition.
Macchio was the latest one.
No, I've not seen that. Is there anything wrong with Ralph?
No, but it's just that. What's he doing here?
I mean, I understand it was a nice touch to bring Michael onto the stage, but I thought it was in bad taste playing "Fix You."
I think in terms of Michael J. Fox, Sean, I think we have to make it clear we're massive fans of Michael J. Fox on this channel.
A great guitarist in these days, well.
Yeah. Great guy, absolutely
an inspirational guy. What he's done for Parkinson's and whatnot over the last 30, 40 years.
That's where Coldplay are at, and that's where they're going to be for forever and a day. They've kind of turned into a U2.
Yeah,
that's
fucking U2 is another one. Yeah,
that's just the way
Jesus
it is.
Christ.
We're
a great man.
Some say the Rolling Stones as well.
Oh, fuck yeah.
There's just wheel out hits.
Oh, Stephen, I mean,
don't
Mick
want
Jagger.
to see Oasis doing that. If they're going to do it this time and I don't want to see them doing it every couple of years. They're just doing the greatest hits every and nothing's really progressing artistically or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Stephen, are we rounding this up?